Everybody, this is Tim, grateful to God for one more day and for the chance to be with you here today as we consider the Bible and what it has to say to us. Our reading for today was in 1 Kings chapter 3, chapter 4, and we see here that Solomon is just beginning his kingdom. Uh, he does it in the right way. Chapter 3, verse 3 said, Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father, only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. That's what they had at that time. And Solomon proved his love for God by offering 1,000 sacrifices. Uh, it's amazing to think of the number of animals and priests and the time that it would take and the expense as well to offer that many sacrifices. But as a result, God offered him anything. What a deal. Ask for it and it's yours. Now stop and think about that. He already had two brothers who wanted the throne, and he still had more brothers. You might have thought that he would pray that God would keep all the brothers away. But you see, one of the reasons why Solomon was made king was that he, unlike his ambitious brothers, was the only potential candidate that understood his father David's unique role in history and the relationship that David had with God. And as a result, I think he cared more for his father than his fortune. He was more concerned about the king than the kingdom and his legacy that he would have. And unlike his brothers, Solomon did not eye his father's throne. He was not looking to somehow usurp his father's power before the time. And I think that was behind the request that he made, that God would just give him wisdom that he would need to be the king. I have no doubt that he had staff to handle anything that would come up. They would take care of the army. They would research issues. They would deal with problems that would come up. But he knew that he would need the kind of wisdom it's going to take to pull everything together. Uh, I wish our leaders today had that kind of wisdom, don't you? I wish I had more wisdom. So let's think about this for a couple of minutes today. What exactly is wisdom? The Bible tells us that there are actually two kinds of wisdom. There is the wisdom of this world. We're told in James chapter 3:13, who is a wise man and endured with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly and sensual and devilish. For where envy and strife is, there is confusion and every good work. You see, we must keep our spiritual eyes open because the devil himself is spreading deception around us. And I think it's interesting that the Bible describes envy and strife as the kind of wisdom that comes from this world. But then there is also the wisdom that does not come from the world, the wisdom that comes only from God. And James also tells us that in James 3:17. He said, the wisdom that is from above is first pure, and then peaceable and gentle and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality, without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. This is the contrast. Envy and strife comes from this world. Peace comes from God and his wisdom. So which of these do you want to embrace? The wisdom of this world or the wisdom from God? Obviously, I think that we want the wisdom that comes from God and from him alone. And you may be thinking, well, that would be nice, but unfortunately, God hasn't given me the same deal he gave Solomon. He never told me, ask for anything and it's yours. Oh, yes, but what God does promise amounts to the same thing because we're told in James chapter 1 and verse 5, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. That's the promise that God has given you, my friend. You can ask God for his wisdom, and he promised that he would grant it. So if Solomon asked for wisdom, maybe we could ask for the same thing. and trust God to give us that kind of wisdom that comes only from Him. And I'm committed to ask for that this week. And I hope you are too as you think about that. Meditate on that somewhat today as you get your day started. Well, I'll get back into the Bible. Tomorrow we'll be looking at 3 chapters, 1 Kings, chapter 5, 6, and 7. And so dig into those chapters, read those, and I'll be looking forward to being back with you again. Have a great day, folks. See you soon.